Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. Today we're going to be taking a look at Sue going up against Rain. Two of the greatest ever StarCraft 2 players in the history of the game. Going to be fighting here for our delight in StarCraft 1. Of course, both were StarCraft 1 players before. They were actually on the same team, SK Telecom. Rain was an up-and-comer. Sue was kind of as well when StarCraft came out, but Rain obviously was a bit better known and really highly anticipated, and I think he is very likely the most talented Protoss player we have ever had in the history of the game. And then Sue, like, he never hit his stride in StarCraft 1, went to StarCraft 2. If he had done he got, all those second places. He got 6 second places in GSL in a row, and this was during some of the hardest years of GSL. I mean, it's arguable exactly which years were the hardest, but this was like in prime time StarCraft 2, pretty much, if you ask my opinion on it. Maybe a little bit earlier was a little bit harder, but anyways, it really, if he had done slightly better, if he hadn't gotten the brain bug that made him lose under pressure, we might actually be talking about him as the greatest of all time. That's really, it's probably the most impressive thing anyone ever did in GSL was 4 or 6 second places in a row during that era. That's insane. Hey, it's crazy. Anyways, he's been up at the top of the ladder. He's like grinding like crazy right now in StarCraft 1. He's in very, very good shape. He's kind of teased a little bit by the other pros. Like, Sue has a very teasable style anyways, when you think about it. Like, in StarCraft 2, he was, like, the best macro Zerg that we basically ever had. And, like, I always joked that, the Sue's signature was 40 unupgraded corruptors. Like, he would just out-macro people, and, like, it would be, like, sloppy, kind of. Like, not as well thought out as some other people, but it didn't matter, because he just had more than everyone. But, yeah, anyways, he's getting very good at StarCraft 1 right now. Like, really good. Up at the top of the ladder and everything. So, yeah, like, I guess we're going to see coming up if he can translate all of this into being an ASL regular type player. I think he has a very good shot at getting into ASL, and I think that even if he doesn't get in right now, like maybe the second season this year. But we'll see. We'll see. Anyways, Sue coming up with some pressure. Rain has opened with a gateway expansion. And just some of this regular back and forth micro. He has a couple probes on hold position on the ramp. Waiting for that third zealot as well. Nothing real will happen here. It's just like a little bit of micro back and forth. And weaker players someone would screw up here and the other player would probably gain the advantage. Like, Protoss doesn't have a lot that they can do here other than chase the Zerglings around. The Zerg is more in control, and like, if this was like a weak Protoss player, like just a low S rank or something, Sue might be able to do something like surround a zealot or out micro him at the gateway and get it burning, something like that. Maybe lead into another attack. Now, Rain is actually going for a counterattack, which is going to force a lot more Zerglings, and he did that just in time. If you look at when he broke off from the Zerglings, he pushed them all the way back to here. And he knew that if they turned around and came back, his second zealot here would pop out. So this was actually, like, basically perfectly done. This is the type of pressure play that really differentiates top tier players from others. Like, so impressive. Like, I feel this type of thing when I play really good pros, where I'm like, how do they... What? Like, they're just... It's crazy, right? Like, Sue turns around, goes in, and, like, he still has to deal with 2 zealots, but now there's 2 zealots in his base, and he's losing mining time, and he's having to make more lanes, and it's like nothing he's done has hurt Rain at all. Now, Rain has 2 more zealots out here, and looks like he wants to pressure this third base. And notice how he leaves them for a moment so the Zerglings can get further away. Like, it's so funny watching a player of this caliber. Like, everything they do is so brilliant. Now, Photon Cannon on the way. Siren X-Core coming up, so he's playing very safe as well. He's got the full wall here. Notice the probe is underneath the gateway, so it's hard to target. And he moves these back, of course, into the little pockets to try to take as little damage as possible. Su knocks them out, has Zergling speed, but only on 18 drones right now, right? You want to be a little bit higher than that. Layer on the way. We have the Stargate coming up, as well as a Dragoon. Okay, the Dragoon got started and then got canceled there. So I think he was looking at this Overlord, and he was like, I'm going to kill that if he leaves that here. But as the Overlord moved, he got rid of the Dragoon production and went into the Zealot. I think that's pretty funny. I like that, though. I like that he was thinking about it. So, sending 3 more Zealots out. He does have, again, a defensive cannon at home. But 1 defensive cannon. If Su happened to make a bunch of Speedlings here, he could have possibly been punished. If you get in and kill that cannon, the game can actually end. But feels like we're seeing some very good reads here from Rain. Now he gets up into this mineral line. Great job with that drone being pulled down by Su. He blocks that Zealot from being able to do what it wants. Great positioning on this Zealot. In fact, this one as well. Like, look at this. He's making him fight single file. I'm pretty sure 2 fit here if you do it right. Damn, man. And then he comes out when he knows he can win. Pulls back. Oh, my God. Rain's in good shape right now. Like, that was some very fancy back and forth. Very well done from Rain. I want to know how much of that was him clicking, how much of it was the Zealots auto-aggroing in the right direction. I feel like that was mostly his clicking, but I do wonder. I'm like, is Protoss that easy? Okay, so Macro Hatchery on the way, Hydralis Den on the way, Spire just about to finish as the Corsair goes around looking for Overlords. I don't think he actually secures the kill on this, or it's very, very close. Bunch of Speedlings coming down, but he has a Zealot in each hole in the wall, and they're very far back, so extremely hard to attack them. Really great defensive stance. Templar Archives, 1 cannon in the main base. That's an interesting cannon. I think it reaches there. It's right on the edge. Yeah, it reaches there. Okay. You need a cannon that can hit right here on a Stargate. And that's so that Scourge can't just park themselves there and kill the next Corsair that comes out. So this Corsair being chased back a little bit. It did end up getting that Overlord kill. Oh, and he catches him. Well played from Su. Okay, speed and +1 are both about to finish. So these Zerglings are not going to get a better time to fight these than right now. Okay, speed finishes. +1 just about there. 6 Hydras are on the way. Turns around and picks off a Ling. Ooh, can get on top of the Hydra. That's for sure. Okay, +1 is done as well. So they are going to 2-shot Zerglings at this point as well. Splits 1 off into the mineral line. Really good control here once again from Rain. Oh, Su actually doing a great job screwing up this 1 Zealot that's in here. These 2 getting a fair amount of kills down here. DT gets in at the same time. Dude, I'm so sorry. We're watching poor Su get mangled here. This is insane how much damage he's taking everywhere. Like, Rain hasn't even gotten started in this game. Look at this. He's sitting here on 4 gates. He has, like, no units in his front. He's just, like, across the map, destroying everything that Su's trying to build. He's knocking over all the sandcastles that Su's spent a long time. He spent 8 minutes and 54 seconds making these sandcastles and just getting kicked over by his big brother Rain here. All right, the Corsair's coming across the map now. Gonna get a little bit more scouting going on. Maybe wants to check and make sure he sees what's being created. It's like, oh, are you gonna go all in Hydra? Are you gonna switch into Muta? Are you gonna, just drone up at the moment? And he does choose to drone up. You can't really blame him on that. The drone count got pretty perilously low. Robo on the way, and that's before even additional gateways. That's always kind of cool to see. Rain gets Robos a bit earlier than most of the Protoss pros. He also generally goes into heavier mid-game Dragoon than most people, but this particular game, he's making more Zealots, and I think that's because it's like a tempo-based play. When Protoss, or when Zerg kind of sits back and isn't taking a lot of damage, the cloud of zealots you have, like, they'll just evaporate against a gigantic group of hydralisks. So you actually don't want heavy zealots at that point. But when you're on smaller groups of hydralisks, like these types of groups, the zealots can actually do a lot. Like, sometimes you have enough that you can surround smaller groups or run around the hydras. But I think he will switch it up into Dragoon production pretty quickly because that Hydralisk count is starting to grow at this point. Yeah, and the Dragoon production gets started. He has that +1 armor on the way. 4 High Templars already out. Observatory coming up. Dragoon range as well, of course. 4, 5, 6, 7 gates. We'll see if he goes to 8 or 9. I think if he's going to go heavy Dragoon, 7 should be fine while he gets a 3rd base going. Always interested to see the numbers of production buildings that Protoss players go for in games. It's one of the more interesting things I think about this matchup is, like, that's something that's always confused me, how Mini sometimes looks at it, he says, I only need 3 gates to take my 3rd this game. And I'm like, what? How do you know? How can you do that? But, like, yeah, I guess it's something you can just kind of learn over time. Look at that. See? Yeah. Doesn't even have his 7th gate finished and starts up this 3rd. He's kept so much pressure across the map. The Corsair count has fallen, but I don't think it really matters. Heavy Dragoon production is here from Rain. Has a couple cannons going up, brings some Dragoons, and 2 of his High Templars, leaves the other 2 at these cannons. I would like to see him mine out these minerals. I think this is a big mistake. No one on Metropolis seems to ever mine these out. It makes the movement on your defense so much smoother. It's insane. It's like, I feel I can defend this base from anything if these minerals aren't here, and if they are, I'm like, uh-oh. I feel like it's actually a very important point here. Not that it matters. Metropolis, like, you'll see a few more games from Metropolis on the channel for sure, but not a lot. Like, it's being rotated out right now. And I think it should be. Like, the map, I think it was okay to watch, this map. I think we had some fun games on it, but I don't think it turned out as good as it could have. Like, someone told me it's a worse retro. I agree. I think retro was actually a better map than this. It is kind of a worse retro in a way. It's just kind of, like, awkward in a lot of ways. Okay, so this Hydra Lurker force, it's, like, kind of small. I'm not sure what the plan is with this smaller force. Maybe he was looking to just set up, like, a very small contain and just be like, hey, go Robo. But there's already observers out, so that wouldn't work here. Sue having to run away here from Rain. Rain chasing him down a little bit. Mutas come in to pick off these High Templars. He actually... some of the storms start getting off. Picking some of them off. That +1 armor definitely helping quite a bit. Ends up killing all the High Templars, but does take some decent damage onto his Mutalisks. Probably does want those fighting now as well. More Dragoons coming up from Rain. This actually is a little bit problematic for Rain, I think. Like, as this flank comes down, the Dragoons will all die. He needs to be really careful about that. The Corsair's coming up to help finish off these Mutalisks as well. And Rain gonna end up losing his army. Those Mutas were really nicely timed. I actually didn't recognize that he had made a group of Mutas. Maybe because I was busy talking about other stuff. But, like, also, when I saw the Lurkers with the Hydras, you'll remember that recently we've seen some people going light Lurker with some Mutas. Like, we saw that several games, like, a month ago, and then it kind of disappeared, and we weren't really seeing it. It was, like, heavier Muta or heavier Lurker, mostly heavier Lurker lately. But, yeah, it looks like Sue did that again for us. Where it's like, yeah, we're not really committing to Lurkers. It's more about the Mutas here, but some Lurkers. Interesting to see. I feel like that's still kind of evolving and being figured out, especially by me. And GG is called. That's an insane turn of fate. That is an insane turn of fate. Let's just... Wait, why does this game go on for like 3 more minutes? Sue kills all his buildings? Okay, he's literally killing all of his buildings. But he's still macroing out. Look at him keeping his money low. Okay, this is a serious Sue. I actually just got chills from this. Okay, I once checked into why when people leave games, almost, like, a lot of pros will hit C real quick, which hits continue play when the end screen, it's like end game E, clear screen or whatever, C. And you can clear screen and keep playing. against like the missing player. And some players, a lot of pro gamers, like hit the C button and just finish out their macro cycle or whatever and then leave the game. Here, Sue is finishing out the entire game and he's actually macroing correctly during it. This is Sue training his mechanics super hard. This is a very serious Sue. Something like this, for me personally, I look at things like this, and maybe this is part of my problem, sure, but I think a lot of people will understand in what I'm saying here. Something like this, for me, is so boring that I'm like, yeah, I don't want to just macro through here. But he, like, finishes out the game. Isn't that weird? Tell me what you think about that. But I did want to jump back because Rain was dominating this game. He was like super, super dominating this game. And then he lost those High Templars and the Dragoons and instantly lost. So at this position, look at this position that we're at right here, right? This is when he's going up for the attack. He's bringing 4 High Templars. He sees Lurkers. He sees Hydras, okay? Sue came out with these, poked, showed the Lurkers. I wonder if that was like a purposeful thing. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, this is me. I don't want to give too much credit, right? Not every move that we see in a game is geniusly planned out. That could be what's happening, though, where it's like Rain looks at this and he says, oh, Lurker Hydra, like, let's go bust this. And you can see how the High Templars are, like, behind a little bit, but he's actually making Mutalisks right now. Like, this is literally, those are the only 2 Lurkers. There's no Lurkers defensively. It's all Hydras. So this might actually have been a bait. Let's go down and look at it again. Let's look at the actual move out. Okay. Let's find where those 2 Lurkers are going to be. Okay, the 2 Lurkers are morphing right here. Okay. The Corsairs have just gone back. Okay, so he starts the 2 Lurkers, and now he starts 7 Mutas. The Hydras are down here. Why would you start exactly 2 Lurkers and then run them down? I think this is... I actually think I'm right about this. Look at this. There's not any moment in the game where you would think... You wouldn't think 12 minutes in after he's done this much drone damage that, like, wow, you know what I need to do? Is attack with 11 Hydras and 2 Lurkers. I'm going to set up a contain. And I was like, I don't know what he's doing with this. Why is he out here? But now it's looking like he's making mutas during this. So he's coming down here. I think he's baiting Rain. So he goes down. He's like, see, I have Lurkers. Then he backs up and Rain is like, well, dude, I have a lot of Dragoons right now. Look at Rain. 3 bases set up. 66 workers against 46. He's kept so much pressure on Sue. He's got tons of Psystorm. 2, 4, 6. And this will be 8 by the time he gets there. 8 Psystorms. And this one will have another one soon after it casts its first 2. So he's going to have, like, in the course of battle, 9 Psystorms. And he has so many Dragoons. 1, 2 upgrades are going to be done pretty soon. Sometimes there's a bug there where it shows it's, like, almost done, but it's not. But he has 1 upgrades. I think this was a bait from Sue. He was in a bad position, and he baited him to attack. He just showed him the Lurkers. This reminds me of stuff In Control used to do. There's, like, this level of mind game where when you look back at it, you're like, well, that's fucking dumb. Like, this used to happen to me in tournaments against In Control all the time, where, like, before my Scout SCV would die, he'd do something like put down a Hydralisk Den. I'd be like, all right, he's going Lurkers. And then Mutas would fly in a minute later. And I'd be like, what? And then he'd laugh at me after and be like, yeah, you always counter what you see. Right? Something like that. That feels like what this is. But damn, didn't it work? He stops, he fights for a second. He's like, yes, they really are Lurkers. The Mutas, he has no idea that there's Mutas right now. 0 clue. In they come. Picks him off. Pure Hydralisk production from 6 hatches. And he wins a game he absolutely shouldn't have won. Let me know if you think what you think about this final analysis that I'm putting out there. Because I know I jumped around a little bit during the game. And, like, I mean, guys, I do watch a lot of PVZ. It was EVP, PVZ. I don't play a lot. I do watch a lot of the games. I do sometimes talk to Protoss and Zerg players and stuff, although not as much as to Terran players. So obviously my level of expertise with Terran-based matchups are far deeper, but yeah, let me know what you think about this. That's what it looks like to me. That's what it looks like to me, is that this was kind of a bait and Rain took it and somehow lost a game that he really should have won. Like, he's so far ahead before this attack. So anyways, thank you for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.